Oh my god!
Fuck this place, I wanna see your face. Can't take your guns, I'll never believe I'm a smooth talker.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, rockers and hip-hoppers, juggalos and juggalettes. I am your host, the often caffeinated, sleep-deprivated artist known as Seethe. And we are here with another awesome episode of Stitches and Glitches. And we have a special episode this week. This week I am accompanied by my dear friend, the ever so gruesome and evil Silhouette Death. How's it going, buddy?
What up, man? How's it going?
Oh, not too much. Just living the dream. On night shift.
The American Nightmare is so
music. Yes,
said.
yes. The American Nightmare. I love it. So today we have, like I said, we have a cool episode today. We're going to be talking about the track "The Monster Inside" off of the upcoming album Wraith from Silhouette Death, due to be released on Halloween of 2022. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about what we got going on over there.
So, basically, I had this concept after the last album, an EP that I released, that I'd invite a bunch of friends to do vocals with me, that, you know, to make a collaborative effort out of this next album, which I codenamed Wraith. And it, features a lot of friends or family, what I consider family now, as a collective, as kind of a precursor and an intro to something as a grander scheme that we will not mention yet. Because I like surprises.
Surprises are always funny. And they're always great. They keep people on their toes.
Exactly.
You know what I think one of my favorite memories about this track is whenever you had first come to me and you had given me the two beats and you were like, all right, A or B. And it was like, A, we could do a good song with. B, we could do a great song with. And you already knew what I was going to pick, like, ahead of time.
I did. It was too easy. I'm like, well, I'll give him the option just to see, even though I already know which one he wants. And that was the instrumental beat that I made. That was more like horror-esque, fucking haunted house, fucking murder scene kind of shit. And that's exactly what we turned it into.
So, okay, we obviously... Go ahead and talk about the... it's obviously based around a serial killer. Go ahead and talk a little bit about the serial killer that we based this track on.
So, the song is based on H.H. Holmes, which is... His original name was Herman Mudgett. And a lot of people believe that he was Jack the Ripper as well, because H.H. Holmes was a serial killer... America's first serial killer, basically, back in the 1800s. And he made this murder castle, as it was dubbed, in Chicago by the World's Fair during the time, which was basically a whole house, basically, of horrors that he could kill and strip people's bones and sell their skeletons for medical usage. Plus, he owned the whole building on top of it. And he built a hotel later. So, he confessed to 28. He was convicted of 28. But throughout time, there was several things that added up that, speculation of he killed more than over 200. But there's no, the only ones recorded at the time were the 28 victims.
Well, I think what was funny, because personally for me, considering the type of music and whatnot that, I've done over the last several years, I am not a horror person. Love Halloween, love the ghosts, the ghouls, and all the stuff, but like, I'm not a blood, guts, horror film person. Serial killers and stuff. Like, I'm just kind of like, I'm going to stay over here in my happy, safe little bubble. But I find what's the funniest about that, though, is for me as an artist, the songs that I always typically end up doing that are more horror themed like this, they're one, I don't want to say they're the easiest to write. They're actually the most fun to write. And it just one of them, just the way my vocals and stuff are, they lend themselves to that kind of vibe. I think what was really interesting, because when you told me the serial killer and whatnot, like I had no idea. Like I legit had to go in and do research and whatnot for my lines and whatnot, because I wanted to drop little things in there. I just didn't want to talk about random slasher stuff.
Yeah.
But that was kind of cool, getting to dive into it, learn a little bit, figure out how to kind of work it into the lyrics and what. And I think what's really cool, like you would just touch base on the whole murder castle thing. I really, really liked how you tied that in and really pushed the whole story and the aspect of the serial killer into the lyrics and whatnot. Really drove it home that way.
Yeah, and I've followed H.H. Holmes. Like, he was one of my favorite serial killers out of everyone else. Like, just because it was so unique, because he didn't, he didn't sexually mutilate his victims, which is, unheard of. He just gassed them and would boil them in acid and sell their skeletons to science, like making a profit off of killing, which is kind of fucked up if you think about it. And I always wanted to make a song about H.H. Holmes. I just couldn't. I had this idea of shit for, say, at least 14 years. But I never found the right instrumental to put to it. And that's why I enjoyed bringing you onto this, because I wanted your aspect on as well. Yeah. Like that, just to see where you would go with it.
Okay, so with all that being said, it's kind of interesting to talk to another artist when it comes to the writing process. So obviously the idea for the song has been around for a minute for you. Whenever we decided the instrumental, like, how hard was it to sit down and really put the pen to paper to do it and make it happen?
Honestly, it wasn't really that hard, just because, like, the way the instrumental's set up with all the screams and everything in it, like, it had that flair for something to be gruesome, but yet smart, because of the way the beat flows. It was like, I don't know, it was just weird. It's really easy for me to make shit, because, like I said before, I always freestyle lyrics and then write them down afterwards. Unless I have, like, a cognitive idea, which Monster Inside I did. So I'm like, all right, well, we're going to base this around this, and then we're going to talk about this person and see what the reaction would be to the song, which a lot of people that I shared it out with really like, because it's something I haven't done at all. Like, this is the first time not taking something, well, granted, it's personal, but not something that has reflected upon me in, like, a turmoil or tragedy or mourning kind of way.
Well, I think because you composed the beat, right?
Yeah.
I think what's really cool is, and I've said this on episodes and even other things in the past, like, I thought what was really cool about the beat itself is the general composition and the way everything was mapped out. It's not just verse, chorus. Like, whenever I was listening to it, I was listening to your vocals, and I was kind of mapping out my parts. I think what's interesting is, like, it has a conventional structure, verse, chorus, but for example, after let me see, it goes verse, hook, my verse, and then it goes into that, like, everything kind of drops out, but there's, like, the beat's still kind of there. That
descriptive part where it's
yeah.
Like a haunted memory kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, that was cool, because like I said, like, you're kind of walking through the castle, this murder castle and everything. But the way the instrumental itself, the composition is set up, it's almost like you're walking into different rooms of this fucked up place, and you're about to die. And what I really liked too was, outside of the part that we had just said, the hook in general, because it's like a horrorcore type beat, but then that hook comes in and it just grabs you, and it has, like, I can't even explain it. I'm really, really excited for people to listen to this, because you did some, like I said, from songwriter to songwriter, composer to composer, you did excellent in bringing the idea to life musically.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, I had a great fucking, feature artist on this.
Son of a bitch, don't make me blush, dude. Don't make me blush.
Whatever, man. It's true.
But let me think. Okay, so
I think the
know-
way to describe that part is like, and this is going to be like a derogatory kind of, stolen kind of thing from Jason X, but when he freezes that chick's head in nitrogen and then picks it up and then slams it on the ground and it just shatters.
Yes.
That's what it feels like. Like you just want to grab somebody and just fucking.
I don't think I could have picked a better analogy for that. It's true. And then you have your demonic, screams for the hook and whatnot coming in. Like, it just sounds like you're just gnashing on people's bones and whatnot.
Right.
Okay, so, like, when it came down, how hard was... Obviously, you wrote it. Mm-hmm. It came out rather effortlessly. You freestyled your lyrics, but, like, the final vocals in the recording, like, how hard was it to get them penned down to where you were happy?
I'd say, not that hard, actually. It was actually pretty easy. Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for me, recording it, whenever I finally got the lyrics done, that was, that the lyrics were the hard part for me. Whenever I sat down, it was pretty much just like boom, boom, boom. I don't even think I don't know. No. I just gave you one straight vocal track. There wasn't any ad-libs or anything. It just came out pretty tight and solid.
Right. That's what I did too. Like, I took it out in one vocal take. Actually, no, I lie. I took it in 5 because I had to get the hooks and everything. And then I went back and retracked some of the vocals to have that, like, haunting, eerie, like, voice in the head kind of sound. With the growls and everything on the hook. And, the chorus of, like, the whispers of, H.H. Holmes telling you to do this kind of thing.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. Before my first verse, there's the sample of the, oh my God. Is that you or is that a sound bit?
It's half me, half a sound bit.
Well, go ahead and talk about that, because I've been wondering that for weeks. In my head, I'm like, it sounds like it was out of a movie, but at the same time, just the vocal tone and everything, I'm like, that sounds like Dustin.
Yeah, well. So the thing is, I'm like, there needed to be, because the beat added up, but there needed to be something a little bit more, like I did this with one of my old tracks too. We used to use sound samples and shit all the time for fucking 13. But with this one, I wanted to kind of tap into that essence a little bit. So I went through I have like CDs and CDs of FX, Halloween FX, throughout the years that I've collected. And there was one scream that, I wanted to do. Because it's like, oh my God! Kind of thing. So I tweaked it. And I recorded that and tweaked my fucking vocals. Because I recorded that vocal in an old... Because if you notice, when that vocal comes on, there's like a slight popping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from a record sound that I put into it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of little hidden tidbits with this album that I did, like, not to spoil anything, but the one I did with Skeptic Incredulity, that one was recorded in white noise format. So there's a lot of little tidbits in here that I enjoy that I put in. With ours, it was more like the old 1800 style record. Like, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay. I had no idea you did that when okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you brought up Skeptic, and we already had mentioned that the album's coming out here very soon. Mm-hmm. Do you want to go ahead and mention what other badass features you have on this album, or do you want to keep that a secret?
I mean, yeah, I can list them. Like, we have Death of Zenith, The Anti-Hero, the boys from The Coven, Even though they did separate takes, we didn't do a Blood of the Beloved track. We did a Skeptic and Nightshade track that are separate. Then I got a secret one with Death of Zenith that is, everybody's going to wait till the release of that one, just because got to keep track 13 a mystery.
Yes, sir.
And then, of
Yes,
course,
sir.
you, my good sir. And we also have Courtney from Seraphim Rising.
Awesome. And then let me see here. Do you have any shows or anything coming up?
I do. I have my first live show on October 21st.
Ooh, snap, son.
Yeah, that I'm opening for, so that's going to be a fun one. I can't wait for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I'm building props. That's why the fucking crypt is a mess right now, because I'm figuring out shit.
Yes, sir, indeed. Yes, sir, indeed. Let me see here. So obviously, Wraith will be on all digital platforms.
Yep.
You gonna have any kind of physical copies and whatnot where people can order?
I've thought about it, but not at the moment. Like, I've thought about doing vinyls. Just as...
Vinyls are making a comeback. I was actually just talking about this with somebody the other day. It's crazy.
It is, and the options are, like, limitless now. Like, clear, colored shit.
Well, like, we you and I grew up at the beginning of the computer age, but it's interesting because, for example, there was the vinyls, there was the 8-tracks, there was the cassette tape, the CD, and then now, everything's pretty much all digital. But how often have you seen things go back in time like that and revive with the uprising of vinyl in the past several years? It's pretty cool and interesting to say the least.
It is. Like there were a couple stores that, granted they were mostly reprints or remasters, but still,
Yeah.
there's artists that come out with, special editions and they limit the run, like Slipknot did that, Billie Eilish, fucking Mushroom Head.
Yeah.
They did cassettes and shit. Like, it's like, huh. It's kind of crazy. And I've looked into it, because I love collecting vinyl, regardless. And, I still buy physical media. I still buy CDs, even if I have to look fucking stores and stores and fucking find it.
Well, this is a lame example, but like, even going to Walmart, Walmart used to have a huge CD section, but now whenever you roll up into the electronic section, there's more vinyl than there is CDs anymore. There's vinyl everywhere, at least in the stores around the area, the Walmarts around my area. I don't know how it is out there, but there's way more vinyl than there is CDs anymore. It's crazy.
Oh, definitely. Like,
how that's come back around.
Yeah. Walmart does that here too. Another good one to check out is Barnes & Noble, believe it or not. Like, they have a selection. They have a whole fucking wall of vinyls, A through Z, dude. Like,
funny little tidbit. Barnes & Noble is like one of the places that Beck and I go when we don't have the kids.
yeah.
We call like Barnes & Noble for us, just like whenever you walk in and you get that book smell, them pages and the
nostalgia.
Like, that's
it's like walking into a library.
Yes, but that's like our sacred, like, we don't have the kids.
Yep.
We're just gonna go peruse Barnes & Noble. Hell, I go over. And just because magazines aren't really even that much of a thing. You used to have like Revolver, Metal Hammer. Like, yeah, they're still out, but it's kind of cool just to, especially whenever they do the reissues of the older, from like back in like the early 2000s. Like, we were in Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago, and they had some old reissues and whatnot.
Nice.
And I was going through it, and it was just nostalgia all over again. Oh, what a simpler time.
Right. I miss toy stores, dude, honestly. I miss fucking Toys R Us and KB Toys and shit.
Yep. Dude, it was sad whenever they shut down the Toys R Us.
Actually, Macy's is bringing it back. You have to go into Macy's now. Oh, yeah.
Okay. A little bit of tidbit of knowledge for y'all. Dead dropping some facts.
Yep. Oh, secrets.
Yeah, dude, that's what's up.
Known secrets, but secrets.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think here. Do I have any more questions for you about the recording part of this? This was a fun track to do, and I knew you were hyped as hell about it. Yeah. I'm just excited with how, like I said, I know everyone's going to get to hear this soon and whatnot, and it's dropping, but it's It was a fun track to record. I really think with the whole vibe and the lyricism and everything, we hit the we hit the nail on the head with it.
Oh yeah, and it was fun, dude. Like,
Yeah, yes, it was.
this is what I like. That's why I love making music, especially collaborations with people, because I get to feed off them and vice versa.
Yeah,
And it's fun. It isn't, because I spent the past 10 months working on Wraith, like making sure that everything was gonna work out the way I wanted it to.
What was? Let me see. Okay, so you look back on this album. What is the song that you would say you're most proud of?
Shit, dude, that's like picking favorites, man.
Picking which is your favorite kid.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me rephrase this. Which one was the hardest to record? And whenever you finally you fought through all the bullshit of trying to write it and record it, and then you finally got it done, and you're like, yes, it's there.
Honestly, I think the most stressed out one, we'll put it this way, is track 13.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
just because
Mystery
I've never
track.
done anything like that before, and I want, it pays homage to another era when I grew up. So that was the most stressful one, just because of all the legalities and everything that I had to do with it.
Yeah.
But again, it was another fun one to do.
Yeah.
So, but hardest one? There wasn't a hardest one. The stressful one? Yeah, that would be track 13. But totally worth it.
Totally worth it in the end. Exactly. All right, Dad. So tell us where we can find you in Silhouette Death.
Well, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook. There's my Flow page, which is flowpage.com/silhouette death. That'll link you to everything. Streaming platforms, all 96 streaming platforms around the world. Yeah. Just look up Silhouette Death, you'll find me.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to conclude that for today's episode of Stitches and Glitches. We're about to listen to The Monster Inside here very shortly. Dad, thanks for coming on and talking to us about the track. I was grateful to be a part of it. It was it was a pleasure, and I'm excited for this release for you, man. I'm excited to check out the whole album and everything. And
yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for having me on here, man. It's an honor fucking being asked to do these kind of things, honestly. It's fun. I love doing this kind of shit and talking about shit.
Oh, dude, I love talking. Yeah, especially the writing process and everything. I love getting in people's heads about it because I know what I go through, and everybody's different. Everybody has their own little thing, and they need to do to get in the mood. So it's nice to kind of see where other people come from with that.
Oh, absolutely. It's always the hard part is the easy part is getting into that headspace. The hard part is pulling yourself out sometimes. But after all, there would be no art without torment.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. Well, thank you very much, buddy. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Right now, we have the exclusive premiere of The Monster Inside from the upcoming album, Wraith, due out everywhere on Halloween.
There are monsters inside all of us.
Welcome all to the murder castle. All will enter, none will leave. Staying more than just a while, impossible to leave. Rip and cut and burn your flesh. Immortal all shall be. Unlikely they will never find you once again. The monster inside of me eats
Welcome all to my house of horrors. Won't you stay? After all, I'll only confess to 30, but there'll be so many more throughout time, you'll see. Because the monster in me must feed. There are monsters inside all of us.